the teams that are still in the hunt haven't had a lot of teams clinch. We still have the Bucks, who could potentially lose that NFC South title, but then we got the Giants, and the Giants, they can clinch with a win.
Yeah.
Or if they lose, but so do the Seahawks and Washington, or if Detroit loses, basically they win, they're in.
Yeah.
Basically what it is for the Giants.
Yeah, I think the Giants, it's pretty safe to say they're in. They just need someone to lose one game. It's pretty far-fetched that they win, so I give them a 90% chance to make the playoffs. And then Seattle, they play the Jets and then the Rams. You think they win both those games?
I think they can split it, potentially.
Yeah, so then you would have Seattle probably goes 1-1 through that stretch, potentially losing to the Jets or the Rams in one of those games. And then you have the Lions, who play the Bears and Packers. I hate to say it, but I think they're going to lose to the Packers, especially if the Packers are still in the hunt for that spot. If the Packers lose this week to the Vikings, I think they pack it up and they're done for the season, and then the Lions win. But if they lose this week, I'm going to pick the Lions to lose that game. And then Green Bay will be right in there because they're 7-8. And then that would put them at 9-8. So they'd be right there in the fight for it. And then if you look at the Commanders' schedule, they finished with Cleveland and then Dallas.
That's tough.
Honestly, I think they beat Dallas because I do think Dallas rests some people. They want a mini bye. You're locked in as the 5th seed. I don't think that's going to change. I think they take this opportunity to rest some players. You started Cooper Rush. He's played well. Rest CeeDee Lamb, rest Micah Parsons. Get those guys ready to go for the playoffs. I think the Commanders win that game and clinch.
Yeah, because the Cowboys are already 11-4, and even if the Giants went out and the Commanders, all these teams went out, they're still not going to take the 5th seed away. So honestly, the Cowboys could consider resting players as early as this week if they wanted to.
Especially because you have the mini bye. You play on Thursday Night Football. You're going to hammer the Titans. And then if you win that game, there's no shot. You basically would clinch the 5th seed if you win that game. So there's no shot that any team could take that from you. So, yeah, you go ahead and you give your players some extra rest because you have the Thursday Night Football game. Rest your guys. You probably only play Dak a half, maybe.
Yeah, plus if the Eagles win, they'll clinch home field advantage. So they'll be 13-4 and 14-2, and then the Cowboys at that point would not be able to take that spot. So realistically, after this week, we should know exactly like how the Cowboys are gonna play in week 18.
Yeah.
So if I had my way, I would keep the standings exactly how they are in the AFC. Honestly, I think the Jags are a much more interesting story than the Titans in the playoffs, especially with Trevor.
Yeah.
And then with the Dolphins, would I rather see Tyreek in the playoffs or would I rather see Kendrick Bourne?
Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
Exactly. And then for the NFC, I think Eagles, it makes sense. Vikings, 49ers, Cowboys, obviously. The Bucks, it's more interesting if the Bucks are in the playoffs. As it is, it's like, much as I don't love the Giants in there, they deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see the Seahawks or the Lions sneak in over the Commanders. But I honestly think, I don't know. I think
it depends who your quarterback is and how bad they play. Like, there's a chance where the Commanders completely collapse because you don't know how those teams are going to respond under pressure. But Commanders, I would like 60% chance. Seahawks a 40% chance, Lions a 30% chance, and the Packers probably 15%.
Yeah, exactly. I think, plus, honestly, after last week, I can't really trust the Lions anymore.
No.
I had faith, but that faith has definitely wavered.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good look at what the playoff picture is going to look like. We're going to have definitely a much more clear picture. We're going to know who the number 1 seed is going to be in each conference. The Bills and Bengals game is going to decide a lot because Bengals are probably going to slide into that 2 seed and get to match up with Miami, who we think they're going to match up with. Then you're going up against a backup quarterback. So that's a solid win for you there. And then we would get to see a treat of Justin Herbert versus Josh Allen. And then Mahomes takes on the winner of that game, most likely. And then the Bengals would move on and play the Jaguars. So we'd get Jags and Bengals, and then the winner of Chargers and Bills. And looks like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are probably going to be matching up in the divisional round again. And then we might get a rematch of Bengals and Chiefs.